Hello there. I have a question for you. Are you ready for some football? Hi, this is Mo from the Mo Crafty channel, and if you're also joining me on the CutCardStock channel, welcome. I am Mo Crafty, and I have a Mo Crafty football project for you today. We are going to be making a football wreath, and you are going to be using the CutCardStock fabulous papers for this project. I also picked up a foam ring. You can pick these up actually at a dollar store. And I'm starting with the fabulous bonsai green canvas textured paper from CutCardStock, cut at a 2.5 by 11-inch width. So what I've started to do is actually bend these around the foam ring and then staple them in the middle. This will actually help later on keep them nice and secure. So I prefer to use a staple versus glue. Take the rings all the way around, or the strips all the way around the ring until you get to the end, and then slide the pieces of paper over each other to make sure you fit it all the way around and that it covers your ring. Okay, after you have stapled the sections onto the ring, the next thing you want to do is actually cut these into pennants or flags. Now you can do this by hand with a scissors. It's a little more difficult. I actually do have a punch that actually does this for me. So I'm just going to go all the way around my ring and then punch these off to make them look like flags. Now if it's a little uneven, you can go back over the flags with a trimming scissors, and so I'm just trimming off some dead ends here. Again, you can do this by hand if you don't happen to have the punch, or you can even pre-cut them with a die cut first. Okay, so once I've got that done, now I'm going to be taking the basis white 80-pound paper, and I have cut it into a 1/2-inch strip by 11. And I'm just going to be gluing these on. These will become my yard lines on my wreath. So this also has the convenience of, as I glue it down, covering my little staple so you can't see it, so it's nice and secure. So take those, just glue them all the way around, and make sure they dry really thoroughly. I sort of bend them just a little bit to make sure that they stick really well. And then you'll be on to your next piece. Okay, so we'll get the last strip on here. And then the next thing I'm going to do is add the yard line numbers. So in the same basis white paper, I have die cut some numbers. You can cut these off of a Cricut or another electronic machine, or if you have die cut numbers, go ahead and cut them. Now, as a reminder, for those of you who might not be huge football fans, the yard lines go up to 50 and then they go back down. So that's what I'm doing all the way around, is adding the yard lines, 10, 20, and all the way to 50. And then I'm going to actually reverse it and go all the way back around. And don't stress about it if it doesn't actually match up perfectly. In my case, I wasn't able to go all the way around to the next 50, so I actually stopped at 40. It doesn't matter because it's really just the aesthetic or look. But it looks so cute. Now this is going to be an awesome project to be able to hang up for the fall when the football season starts here in just about a few weeks. So I'm going to secure the last of my numbers, and then after this, we're going to get going on creating some of the helmets. So I have the little Cricut Joy, and I cut just a standard helmet shape and put an offset around it at about 1.15. And I cut this out in the Pop Tone Banana Split Yellow and the Star Dream Metallic Ruby, because this happens to be the team that I am always cheering for, the Arizona State University Sun Devils. So I'm going to glue the top part onto the bottom, just like so. It's a really cool helmet shape, and this one actually is part of the Cricut subscription, but I'm sure there are several shapes out there for electronic machines. Now I'm using the same papers to go ahead and cut out some letters. And this letter set actually comes from Tim Holtz. This is actually a letter set that has a drop shadow. If you don't have die cuts like this, you can also cut these on a machine as well. So I've done the drop shadow color in the basis white paper. And then the red is the Star Dream Metallic Ruby, and there's the letters ASU. So after I've got that, I'm going to go ahead and use my Cricut again and cut out just a generic football shape. Now this particular brown paper is the vanilla bean brown paper, and I'm actually just gluing it to a basis white piece of paper. And then since this drop shadow didn't look really good on the machine, I'm going to go ahead and hand cut a drop shadow around it. And because it's just a simple shape, it was super easy to cut. So just trim all the way around at about 1/4 inch in width, and there you have it. And now these pieces are going to be secured to my wreath. Okay, now here's the fun part. This is where it gets interchangeable, right? So I'm first going to make sure I know where the top of my wreath is, and I'm going to attach my football with some glue because that will stay on my wreath all year round. And that gets secured at the bottom. This will become the bottom of my wreath. And then the next piece is the helmet. Now I want to be able to switch the helmet out for different teams or different times of the year. So I am attaching actually a sticky backed Velcro dot that I'm actually reinforcing with some glue to make sure it doesn't come off. And I stick the bottom one onto the wreath first. Then I stick the top part onto the sticky dot itself. This will allow you to line it up with the helmet so much easier, adding and reinforcing with some glue. Then I stick my helmet onto those dots, and then make sure you let this dry thoroughly. I actually went ahead and let this dry overnight because I don't want the Velcro dots to fall off. Okay, as I'm letting that dry, I am also going to create a really simple bow. And I found a bunch of black and white kind of patterned ribbon in my stash. I'm going to cut a couple strips worth of each, and then I'm just going to crisscross them. And what a great way to make a bow without having to worry about the loops or tying. Taking some black and white twine and then tying a knot in the middle. I'm going to complete it with a bow, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue this onto my wreath itself. As I'm doing this, the other thing that I did not show on camera is that I did loop in some black and white twine at the top so that I'm able to hang my wreath as well. So this gets all fluffed out. You can trim the edges with the scissors and then go ahead and glue it on. I'm gluing it onto the top 50-yard line here as well. So the cool interchangeable part, I went ahead and made another helmet as well, and then we can interchange this out. But I am ready to root on my Sun Devils to victory in the Pac-12 this year. Take a look at how cute this wreath is. What a great gift this can be. And it's interchangeable as well. Thanks for joining me today.